Welcome back, everyone. Some parents may think that video games are corrupting the minds of our youth, but a researcher here at UW-Madison has discovered that certain games actually help kids learn better and help us get ahead in our global economy. Seriously. Joining us this morning is Associate Professor David Shaffer, author of the new book, How Computer Games Help Children Learn. I jokingly said kids will be really excited to hear about this one. How is this possible?
Well, you know, it's 6:40 in the morning, and most households are probably like my households, getting the kids up and getting them off to school. So I don't want to scare anybody, but I wrote this book because we actually have a really big problem in this country. We're getting our kids up in the morning and we're sending them off to schools where they're learning basic facts and basic skills that are just not going to be enough to prepare them for the world that they face when they get out of school.
And so this book actually names some games. I know at least one of them was by a UW researcher called Digital Zoo that can help kids better prepare for the world and the new world economy.
Exactly, because what kids are going to need to do is be able to think in innovative and creative ways about real problems. You know, what the power of games like Digital Zoo is they let you live in imaginary worlds of adventure, worlds of excitement, sometimes, unfortunately, worlds of violence. But they can also you can also live in worlds where you learn to think in innovative and creative ways, like a doctor, like a lawyer, like an engineer, like an architect, like any people who solve real problems that don't have standard answers, that aren't like the standardized tests that we use to get kids ready for the world. And you know, in a global economy where competitors are a mouse click away, if all you can do is standardized jobs, somebody else can do it somewhere better and cheaper.
And now you aren't suggesting that some of the games that have caused so much controversy out there are the way to go in terms of getting your kids to learn, correct?
There are lots of bad games out there,
right,
just as there are lots of bad books out there and lots of bad movies and even some bad television. But the point is that the exciting thing is that we can actually build good games. And that's what we've been doing. We've been building them and testing them and showing that when you play these games, you can actually learn to prepare for life in a competitive world.
And speaking of which, you're suggesting in the book that schools need to rise up to the occasion, to meet the challenges. What do you think the future of education needs to look like in this country in order to compete?
Well, I think we need to be thinking about both what we learn and how we learn in different ways. You know, schools were developed between 100 and 150 years ago to train people for life in an industrial economy. And we don't live in an industrial economy anymore. Right. We have a knowledge-based economy. The standardized jobs are going overseas. We have to be prepared to think in innovative and creative ways about real problems. And so what schools need to start doing is using games and other tools to prepare kids to solve real problems by thinking about them in the way that people in the world really think about problems.
And so this isn't to say that we need to throw out the usual curriculum. Some of these facts are still probably important for kids to have as a base knowledge.
Sure, but if you look at the way people get ready to think about real problems in the world, they don't do it by preparing for standardized tests. What they do is they actually solve problems, and then they talk about what they're doing with their mentors and with peers, and that's the way they develop the kind of professional judgment. And that involves learning a lot of facts and learning a lot of skills, but it involves a whole lot more. And it involves working on real problems. And the power of computers is that they let kids do that even at a very early age.
And this is a great book for parents. It's written for parents, teachers, researchers, the whole gamut. And it's available online at Amazon.com, in bookstores. Thank you so much for being here.
Oh, my pleasure. Thanks very much.
It's a quick interview. This is really interesting stuff. But how computer games help children learn. What do you think, Charlie?
Sounds good to me. You know, I was never one for reading a whole lot of books when I was in school. But kids, don't listen to me. Look where I ended up. I mean, come on.